Ayan. Good morning, class. Welcome to our discussion. So, start na tayo sa chapter 2 or module 2. Ang title ng ating module ay Unpacking the Self. So, ngayon, i-discuss po natin ano ba yung mga underlying topics dito sa chapter na to. 'Di ba? So, there are various kinds of topics: the sexual self, material and economic self, spiritual self, political self, and the digital self. And today, ang pag-uusapan natin ay ang ating physical self. So, let's start our topic. Lesson 1, the physical self. So, these are the celebrities na kilala, 'di ba? Sila yung mga kilala talaga na nagpaayos ng ng kanilang physical look or ng mga outward look nila. So, Miss Regine Velasquez, si Miss Jinky Pacquiao, 'di ba? So, bakit ko kaya yan finlash? So, mamaya malalaman natin kung bakit ko ba sila finlash for my example. So, lahat tayo kilala natin ito, 'di ba? Si Miss Catriona Gray, si Miss Pia Wurzbach, ang ating mga Miss Universe, 'di ba? Even that one, the K-pop, ito, K-pop group. So, now, let's define beauty. According to Merriam Dictionary, beauty is the quality of being physically attractive. So, I believe na we have different standard about beauty, 'di ba? And beauty are the qualities na meron ng isang tao or ang isang bagay na nagbibigay ng pleasure or satisfaction sa isang tao or sa sarili niya. And I have question here. Are you happy with how our society defines beauty? So personally, 'di ba, merong mga tao na they define beauty inside, 'di ba? And meron din they define beauty outside kasi aminin man natin o sa hindi, ang physical beauty naman talaga ang unang nakikita, 'di ba? Bago yung ating inward beauty, 'di ba? So, the physical self, ano nga ba yung physical self na tinatawag natin? So, it is the social pressure of looking perfect gave rise to the many beauty products and enhancement procedures, 'di ba? Like the celebrities that I have flashed earlier, 'di ba? So, they go sa mga enhancement or procedures, 'di ba? And being patronized by a large portion of the population, no matter how expensive they might be, just to fit in, to be accepted, and to be beautiful. So, kaya yung mga beauty products natin, like yung nasa picture po na yan, ito, 'di ba? Tayong mga girls, we, kahit na gaano kamahal yan, 'di ba, we invest or talagang nagbibigay tayo ng effort na magpaganda, 'di ba? Outside, 'di ba? And our physical selves have become so dependent on the judgment of our appearance and not with the celebration of it, 'di ba? Pero makikita natin ngayon during pandemic, 'di ba, hindi na 'yan ganun kagamit-gamit yung mga beauty products na 'yan, unlike before kasi nga we have our mask and then the face shield. So hindi na siya ganun kabenta, 'di ba? Bumaba yung sales niya because of the pandemic, 'di ba? So, then, why do I look like myself? Bakit nga ba ito yung itsura ko, 'di ba? Minsan ba napapatanong ka na, ay bakit kamukha ko si nanay or kaya kamukha ko si tatay, 'di ba? So, according to Gregor Mendel, meron siyang explanation dito about the pea plant experiment. So, in-explain niya dito, yung pea plants experiment ay showed that genes are passed intact from generation to generation and that traits are not blended. So it is through the genes that or the traits that passed from parents to offspring sa atin through several generations, 'di ba? So kaya may mga wangis, 'di ba? May wangis ka ng kamag-anak mo, 'di ba? Even sa malayong kamag-anak mo, 'di ba? Our physical features are evidence that we are our parents' child, 'di ba? So yon. These are celebrity families na talagang magkakamuka or may hawig sa isa't isa, 'di ba? And what physical traits did you get from your parents, 'di ba? Do you look more like your father or your mother? So, yun. Pero guys, so, hindi naman ngunit hindi ka kamuka ng nanay o ng tatay mo, ampon ka na, 'di ba? There are such things lang na talagang nagkakahawig, 'di ba? And these are the cultural standards of beauty. Sa Japan, para sa kanila, maganda kapag ka may sungke. Sa Korea naman, kapag ka medyo malaki yung eyes, 'di ba? Para sa kanila, yun yung definition of beauty. At kapag naman sa USA, kapag morena ka, 'di ba? So para sa kanila, yun ang maganda. And uh, we have here the example about dun sa experiment ng mga African. So, it was recorded that some men and women were set aside in a special place for flattening purpose. They were covered in a large amounts of tapa, 'di ba? Which after ritual is over, they revealed lighter skin for those who were selected, and the goal talaga is to ma-enhance yung kanilang body, since yung feature nila kasi ay medyo masyadong payat, not only be feeding them but by making sure that they get a lighter skin afterwards. So yun yung uh, ginawa nilang experiment. So it's amazing na during 19th century, mahalaga na pala talaga yung ating physical physical look, or yung ating beauty. So, the Filipino obsession with beauty, the Philippines constructed local standards of beauty can be traced from our colonial influences. Remember that we are colonized by the Spanish, diba? American, even the Japanese, and skin color signifies the value of people in society. So, for many Filipinos, lighter-skinned individuals are considered higher in terms of social status, 'di ba? For example, nakita mo yung isang tao, 'di ba? Ang puti niya naman, siguro ang yaman nun, 'di ba? So, yon yung ating standard. Our concept of physical selves as Filipinos is largely associated by our skin colors, 'di ba? For example, sa Americans, 'di ba? Kapag matangkad, 'di ba, maganda. Yun yung tingin ng mga Filipino. Kapag ka naman matangos yung ilong, so maganda, 'di ba? Or even sa Japanese, kapag singkit, maganda. Yun. So, here uh, is the example of Sanderford case, 'di ba? Formerly known as Marlu Arzala, 'di ba? So, he's a teenage boy na talagang nabully, 'di ba? Sa social media, and nor talent, but because of the disgust and animosity they receive for their ugly faces. So, there are people na talagang nag-undergo sa mga ganitong klase ng uh, enhancement because they feel na hindi sila tanggap ng society, 'di ba? He was not spared from bullying since he became an internet sensation because by our standards, he simply is unattractive, 'di ba? So, yun yung pinaramdam sa kanya ng mga tao. So, he decided na mag-iba ng magpa-enhance, 'di ba? Ng kanyang itsura. And according sa research, naka 400 plus thousand si Marlu or si Sanderford sa kanyang pagpapaganda or pagpapaayos ng kanyang muka, 'di ba? So his decision to undergo the knife was because of our lookist culture, which dictates happiness is only afforded to good-looking people, 'di ba? So it's one of the saddest thing about the definition or sa pagtingin natin sa physical look ng isang tao, 'di ba? So sa gender differences naman, makikita natin na yung women, tayo mga babae, have been evaluated on their appearance, more men, 'di ba? Women yung mas ano ba, conscious in terms of physical outlook, and they have been valued and devalued based on how they look. It is for this reason that many of them fall prey to even unnecessary cosmetic surgeries due to the desire of wanting to look good, if not perfect. So yung iba na magaganda na mas ginugusto or mas nagdedesisyon sila na mas lalo pang magpaganda by sa pag-undergo ng surgeries, 'di ba? So, yan. How about the psychological disorder associated with beauty? So, we are not here to diagnose but to silipin lang yung mga some psychological disorder na makikita natin kapag tayo ay masyadong maging conscious sa ating physical look. So, first one, uh, we have to think about this 4 Ds of abnormality. The first one is the dysfunctional. if the behavior, 'di ba, the thoughts and the feelings are already dysfunctional when they interfered with the person's ability or sa every function in daily life niya to hold a job or to form close relationship. So, we can consider that is dysfunctional. More likely they are to be considered abnormal by mental health professionals kasi nga nakaka ano na sila, nakakaapekto na sila sa iyong, araw-araw na pamumuhay. Inappropriate na yung emotion mo or even the behavior na pinapakita mo, okay? So, dysfunctional. And the number two is distress, behavior and feelings that cause distress or sadness to an individual, to others around him, 'di ba? So, nagiging normal na lang sa kanya yung chronic lying, 'di ba? The stealing or doing violent things, 'di ba? So, because he experienced distress and he or she is not conscious about it, 'di ba? And uh, the next one is the deviant or highly deviant behavior, such as hearing voices when no one else is around, lead to judgments of abnormality. So, what is deviant is influenced by cultural norms. So, yun yung deviant, kakaiba na, 'di ba? Iba na yung kanyang mga naririnig, yung kanyang mga nakikita, 'di ba? So, the next one and or the last is the dangerous, or so some behaviors or feelings are potential to harm other people na, 'di ba, like suicidal gestures such as excessive aggression, yung maliit na bagay lang talagang nagwawala siya or nagagalit siya, 'di ba? So such are dangerous behaviors. So let's go now to the body dysmorphic disorder or the BDD. So yung mga tao na may BDD are very obsessed about their physical appearance. They think about their flaws, totoo man ito o hindi. Okay, so yung and hindi natin masisisi yung mga taong may BDD because it's uncontrollable, 'di ba? Hindi nila 'yon makontrol by their feelings, 'di ba? Or by their minds. So they are very preoccupied by perceived physical flaw that is either absent or so trivial that only the one suffering from it sees it as a problem, 'di ba? For other people, it's not a problem, but to a person with BDD, it's a problem, and for her or for him, it's her or his flaw. Okay, so they are very self-anxious that they seek cosmetic surgeries to finally solve their body issues. However, they cannot find pleasure or satisfaction because hindi naman kasi physical yung problema nila but mentally. So they have the BDD. Okay, so according to Dr. Yap Chanko, they want to be more pleasing, to be more beautiful. They consider that having a beautiful face and body is always an edge in most aspects of life, especially in getting into their chosen career or profession. Diba? So, yon. Next one is a healthy body image, self-esteem. Our standards have become so unbearable that our society mocks us for looking imperfect. This has caused many of us to lose confidence in ourselves and break that one last strand of self-esteem that we have. Diba? Aminin man natin o sa hindi, yung mga taong nakapaligid sa atin o yung society natin ay nakakaapekto how we live our lives. Diba? How we saw ourselves, 'di ba? Kaya nga meron tayong pinag-aralan before about our self-concept, 'di ba? How we see or how we saw ourselves can be influenced by how others treat us, 'di ba? So when women in particular get called out for being heavy, if not obese, they are not called as such by people to remind them to get healthy for their own good. Kasi para sa kanila, binubuli mo sila or hindi okay sa'yo yung itsura nila. So, ang gagawin nila, 'di ba, uh, will will they will look on themselves as obese, 'di ba? Na not perfect, imperfectly, 'di ba? So, iti-treat nila yung self nila as pangit, 'di ba? So, this in return results to not only having strong desire for the bullied to get thin, but with it also comes that fear of gaining weight, thus restricting themselves from food intake, 'di ba? Kaya yung mga simple na pagsasabi natin sa ibang tao, 'di ba, ng mga ganong bagay, dapat we have to be sensitive about their feelings as well. So here are the examples of psychological or disorder na maaari nilang maranasan or ma so number one is the anorexia nervosa. People with anorexia nervosa starve themselves, subsisting on little or no food for every long periods of time, yet they remain convinced that they need to lose more weight, 'di ba? So, makikita po natin yung example na to sa picture, 'di ba? Ang totoong itsura niya, sobrang payat niya na, pero every time she will look on the mirror, nakikita niya yung body niya as sobrang taba, 'di ba? So as a result, their body weight significantly below what is minimally normal for their age and height. So in short, they are very underweight, and people with this disorder have a distorted image of their body, often believing that they are disgusting fat and need to lose more weight, 'di ba? So the struggle is real kasi hindi nila nakikita yung reality, 'di ba? Meron talagang problema in their in looking, 'di ba? With their physical self. So, yet, despite low weight, they routinely engage in behavior that interferes with any gain weight. So, we have two types of anorexia nervosa. The number one is the restricting type. So, body weight nila is significantly underweight and the body image is severely disturbed. Nagbi-binge ba sila? No. Di ba? Nagpa-purge ba sila? No. Or meron ba silang sense of control over eating? No. Okay. So, basta restrict nila yung food because they look themselves as fat. Okay. So the other type is anorexia nervosa, binge or purging type. Ito yung mga may anorexia na kapag nakakain sila ay sinusuka nila, pinipilit nilang isuka to, 'di ba? So significantly underweight din sila, severely disturbed, may binging, yes, may purging, yes, and sense of lack of control over eating, yes, during binges. Okay. So, kung napanood niyo na 'to, sa Netflix 'to, ang title niya ay To the Bone, 'di ba? Yung girl diyan ay meron siyang na-diagnosed siya na may anorexia nervosa. Okay. So, To the Bone. This is not the only suffering of those who have been criticized their weight. Meron din kasi na mga taong nag-a-under ah, undergo sa body shaming, 'di ba? Criticizing yourself or others because of some aspects of physical appearance. So this has resulted in the loss of self-confidence or self-esteem of those who have been thin shamed or fat shamed by other people, 'di ba? So body image disturbance or the BID is an important aspect of several pathologies in psychology, particularly in eating disorder. It has two components. The number one is the perceptual component. Ito yung how we actually perceive our body size, 'di ba? And yung number two naman, attitudinal component, how we think and feel about the size or shape of our body, which if not correctly processed, it will result to body dissatisfaction. So, absolutely, ito yung component na tinitingnan ng mga tao na na-diagnosed under anorexia nervosa. Attitudinal component. So, body image, sabi ni Stice and Whitenson 2002 found the body dissatisfaction is also linked with mental disorders including depression and anxiety among adolescents. Okay. So, 2002 pa naman to yung research na to. And the filtered self, so these are the social media or editors that we are still using right now, 'di ba? To look beautiful, 'di ba? In the pictures that we're going to upload, 'di ba? So, we love using filters, of course, 'di ba? And ang pinakamahalagang bagay diyan is kahit na ilang filter yung gamitin mo, it's okay lang naman. Ang mahalaga doon is you are doing it for yourself, not for to please other people. 'Di ba? Do you find yourself beautiful now? Okay. So, remember, you are beautiful in your own ways. Worth knowing, embracing yourself is important in this society or in this world, 'di ba? The significance of self-acceptance is necessary in embracing our physical selves. We have to be reminded that our health is foremost in all this, 'di ba? The body, the shape that you have, the skin color that you have, and the stature that are never correct indicators of healthy life. Okay. So there is nothing more important than to learn or and accept, to embrace who we are with all the beauty, flaws, and imperfections, because that is the only way that we can live in peace and at peace with ourselves. Okay. So mahalaga na ah, unahin mo munang maging masaya ka sa sarili mo bago ah, i-satisfy, 'di ba, yung opinyon ng ibang tao. So, steps to lessen body shaming. First one, we have to practice identifying why you are upset about that situation, 'di ba? Baka naman kasi nape-pressure ka lang, 'di ba? So, number two, identify who in your life is body positive or even body neutral. Number three, confront those who perpetrate body shaming, of course. And the last one is to find something you like about your body. You have to appreciate first yourself before ah, ma-appreciate ka ng ibang tao. Dapat ito ay nag-uumpisa sa'yo. Okay? So, we are God's masterpiece, sabi nga dun sa Bible. At makikita din natin that beauty bring happiness, but happiness always bring beauty. Okay. And the other one, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And sabay-sabay nga natin tong i-renounce. I am beautiful, I am smart, I am strong, I am talented, I am powerful, I am enough. And never ever compare yourself to other people, because you are uniquely made by God. Thank you so much for listening. I hope na meron kayong natutunan sa ating discussion today.